Good evening and welcome back to Prime of Midlife. It's Monday evening, first day back at work for some, bank holiday for many others. And this evening we're talking prepping the future generations. And what I mean by that is not so much teaching them how to prep, but teaching them how to work with preps. Basically, this evening, I came in this evening and I was like, yep, I'm going to have stir fry, I've got bean sprouts, I've got this. And I sat down with my cup of tea. As you've seen, that's what I do when I come in from work. And I was like, oh, I can't be bothered. And then I remembered the frying pan needs washed anyway. So I was like, nah, no happening. I have an air fryer. I will just go and throw something in the air fryer. Now, obviously, as you saw, I did that last week, and there's only so many air fryer meals I can do. Before I get sort of like, nah, that's too much stuff. So, no, the air fryer wasn't working. And so I actually came through to the freezer to lift the lid in the freezer and see what I could have in the air fryer. And I saw a tub of sausage casserole. And I have frozen mash and frozen peas. So, guess what I'm having for dinner tonight? There will be sausage casserole, frozen mash, and frozen peas. And while I was doing that, I was thinking, oh my goodness, imagine being a mum that's got all these different options and kids wanting this, that, and the next thing. And I remembered when Kathleen was young, she had asked if this friend could come to tea after school. And I was like, yeah, no bother. And the friend only ate fish fingers, pizza, or something else. And I was like, well, there's no point, because Kathleen was on her phone texting me. I said, tell her not to bother. I said, that's not what we're having. And she's like, oh, but and I was like, no, don't have it, not buying it, no happening. Another friend was due to come to tea and I was making mac and cheese. Kathleen loves my mac and cheese. It's made with a proper homemade cheese sauce, etc. And I always put onion through it just to give it a bit of crunch so that it's not, and sometimes I put peas and sweet corn through it as well. And this friend's like, oh no, but I can't have onion through it. And I was like, well, tough, that's how I make it. So that friend didn't come for tea either. And I tried to think back to when did this happen? And as far as I can remember, I remember being quite young and there was a cash and carry opened. It was a very small cash and carry. It was done for the butchers in the local shops, but you could get a card. And that was the first time I ever remember seeing the big plastic tubs of ice cream instead of the paper blocks. I mean, that was just luxury beyond belief. And then you started seeing things like burgers. We had sausages when I was young, burgers not so much, but then you could get the Bird's Eye frozen burgers and Findus crispy pancakes and fish fingers and stuff. So I would say probably the 70s is when people started to get a freezer. Now, I'm sure there's many of you will remember, and certainly in Scotland it was a thing of, what's for dinner, mum? Whatever. Oh, but take it or leave it. That is what's for dinner. There is no option. But I think as we grew up, we had the availability of things in the freezer. And especially, and I mean, I've done it myself with Kathleen. Excuse me, she'll want fish steaks, I'll want chicken steaks with oven chips, and it's just a big tray that's thrown in the oven. It doesn't matter, it's in the freezer. And I think that has, whereas for me, that's like, yep, it's all getting thrown in the oven anyway. I think there's a lot of people now seem to cook different things for different members of the family. And I think that's going to become much more difficult as time goes on. And I think we need to prepare the younger generation for this. I think we need to start making growing veggies fun. I think it needs to come back into schools like it did when I was young. I think we need to go back to having basic cooking classes, because what pleased Kathleen no end was when she went to school, my cooking teacher was there. The lady who taught me how to make the white sauce that I turned into the cheese sauce for the mac and cheese. And Kathleen was so excited to be able to tell her and go, you know, my mum makes the most fabulous mac and cheese. All my friends love it. And it was you that taught her how to make the cheese sauce. And obviously, basic white sauce, it's an onion sauce, it's a cheese sauce, it's a parsley sauce, it's whatever you want to make it. And I think there's a lot of people don't have that grounding coming up now. A lot of the schools do not have the time or the facilities to show them that. And I think it's going to be very sensible for us to prepare the younger generation, whether it's preparing them how to make their own sweeties, like macaroon bars from a potato. Who knew that? Yes, it's very messy when I do it, but you know, if you do it sensibly, then it's not that bad. Making your own flapjacks. Things like that don't take an awful lot of time or money, but will be something that as they grow and if they have their own families, they can budget better. Do porridge. You know, oatmeal's really cheap. What about the fridge porridge, the next morning oat thing that people do that I don't do? I know. I tried it once. I haven't got back to trying it again. I still have the fruit in the freezer for it, but I haven't got back to trying it again yet. But yeah, things like that. I think we need to start bringing the kids back into how to looking after themselves. Make sure they know how to wash their clothes, cook their meals, darn things, fix things, make sure they can knit so they can at least knit themselves a scarf if they have to, or knit themselves a dishcloth. But certainly cooking wise, I think enabling them to not just rely on stuff that they've bought, but be able to make things and make different varieties of things. Like you can make sausage casserole that you just throw in with onion gravy granules. You can make sausage casserole with a Schwartz mix. You can make sausage casserole with a tomato-based sauce. 1 packet of sausages. And you can make all those different flavour sauces. And you've got 3 different options from 1 pack of sausages to go in the freezer. So yes, that's my thing for today. As I say, it came from coming in thinking I was eating one thing, then going to thinking I was eating another, and now I'm on my 3rd version. I can only do that because I have prepped and I have batch cooked. But if we can get the younger generation to think of their options as something that's been batch cooked as opposed to something that's been bought, that they don't need new everything. And isn't it fabulous the lettuce are grown in the garden? Anything we can do like that, I think, is going to be a big, big help to them. And even the grown-ups as well, because I don't think Kathleen's ever grown anything edible in her life. So yeah, there you go. That's my thought for today. So I am now off to go and put my mashed potatoes in the microwave and go have my dinner. I'll catch you later.